He forgot our anniversary and said, "Work's been hell." I didn't argue. I just took the night to myself, until I saw a tagged story from a local rooftop lounge. There he was, holding hands with someone. Smiling. The caption? "I've never felt more seen." I reserved a table at the same spot the next night, wore my wedding dress, and asked the DJ to dedicate a song to the man who sees everyone but the woman who vowed to stay. Enjoy the view. We were married 6 years. Together for 9. I thought we were still okay. Not great, not like how we were in the beginning, but still solid. I did what most people do. I told myself all marriages go through dry spells. That stress and time wear things down, and it's normal. That if I just held on, if I stayed loyal, things would swing back. That's what I believed. Our anniversary was on a Wednesday this year. We'd always promised each other that no matter how busy life got, we'd make time for it. Even if it was just a cheap dinner or a walk around the block. It was our day. That morning, I got up and made coffee like I always do. Set out the card I bought him. Nothing fancy, just a little note telling him I still loved him, still remembered the day we said our vows. I even wore the necklace he gave me for our 3rd anniversary. He walked past me in the kitchen, grabbing his keys, saying, "Work's been hell this week. I've got to go in early." No happy anniversary. No kiss. No smile. Just rushed and tired and gone. I stood there, coffee in hand, staring at the front door after it closed. My chest went cold. I told myself maybe he forgot in the moment. Maybe he'd remember and come home with flowers or something. Maybe he was planning a surprise. I made that excuse for him. I waited all day with my phone near me. At 7 p.m., I set the table for 2. Heated up leftovers and lit a candle like an idiot. He texted me at 7:43. "Running late. Sorry. Work's been nuts." I replied, "Okay." That was it. He got home a little after 10. No flowers. No card. Just tossed his bag on the floor, loosened his tie, and said, "I'm starving." I had already cleaned up. I told him I was going for a drive. I didn't want to argue. I didn't even want to talk. I just didn't want to sit next to him pretending everything was fine. He nodded without even looking at me. "Be safe," he mumbled. I got in the car and drove with no real direction. I ended up parking at Freedom Park. Just sat there. Cried hard, the kind that makes your whole body shake. My hands were trembling so bad I dropped my phone twice trying to wipe the screen. I checked it just to distract myself. And that's when it hit. There was a tagged Instagram story from someone I didn't know. A name I'd never seen. But he was tagged in it. My husband. The video was taken at a rooftop bar. Skylight Lounge lit up in neon behind him. He was sitting at a table, holding a cocktail. Not alone. There was a woman next to him. Brunette. Pretty. She leaned into him like they'd been close for a while. Her hand was on his thigh. His fingers were laced with hers. And he was smiling. Laughing. I watched it again to make sure I wasn't wrong. Same shirt he wore that morning. Same wristwatch I gave him 2 years ago. And then the caption. Just 6 words, "I've never felt more seen." I sat there, numb. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Something in me turned off. Like a switch. My mind went cold, clear. I went home and didn't say a word to him. But I made a plan. The next morning, I got up early before he did. I stood in the bathroom, looking at myself in the mirror. My eyes were puffy from crying. My skin looked pale. I didn't even recognize the woman staring back. I wasn't the same person I was 6 years ago, and not just because of time. I had changed for him. Bit by bit. I let things slide. Let myself slide. I didn't say anything when he stopped holding my hand in public. I didn't speak up when our sex life dried up. I didn't question him when he said he had to stay late again and again. I wanted to believe we were just in a rough patch. Now I knew better. He left that morning like nothing was wrong. Told me he'd be home late again. Didn't notice how quiet I was. Didn't care. I nodded, kissed his cheek like always, and watched him walk out the door like he wasn't walking out of my life. I spent the day planning. First, I made a reservation at Skylight Lounge, the same rooftop bar from the video. I used my maiden name so he wouldn't suspect anything if someone there checked. Then I pulled out my wedding dress. I hadn't looked at it in years. It was still packed in that preservation box under the bed. I opened it carefully. The smell hit me first, old fabric and memory. It still fit. Tight in the waist, a little snug at the bust, but it zipped up. That night, I did my hair the same way I had on our wedding day. Put on makeup. Not soft, natural makeup, the kind of makeup that says look at me. Red lips. Heavy liner. Dark eyes. I didn't look like a woman going to cry. I looked like a woman who knew exactly what she was about to do. I got to Skylight Lounge 15 minutes before my reservation. I tipped the hostess $100 and told her I had a small request. She looked confused when I explained it, but she said she'd help. Then I found the DJ. He was a younger guy, maybe early 20s, probably used to doing birthdays and bachelorette parties. I handed him $50 and said, "When I give you the signal, I want you to say this exactly. This next song is dedicated to the man who sees everyone but the woman who vowed to stay. Enjoy the view." Then played Dancing on My Own. He nodded, kind of stunned. I waited. At 8:12 p.m., they walked in. Yes, they. Him and her. Same woman from the story. Same long brown hair, same smug face. She wore a tight red dress. He had his hand on her back. They sat 2 tables over. He didn't see me right away. But she did. Her face changed the second she looked at me. Like she'd seen a ghost. I smiled. She leaned in and whispered something to him. He turned. Froze. I raised my glass at him. Then I stood up, walked to the DJ booth, and gave the signal. The DJ did exactly what I asked. His voice rang out over the rooftop speakers, just loud enough to cut through the low hum of dinner conversations and clinking glasses. This next song is dedicated to the man who sees everyone but the woman who vowed to stay. Enjoy the view. Then the music started. Dancing on My Own. Robin's voice filled the rooftop. That opening beat hit like a hammer. Soft at first. Then full. All eyes turned toward me. I didn't flinch. I stood tall, in my wedding dress, with my wine glass in hand. I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I just watched him. His face went pale. Like the blood left his body all at once. He stood up halfway, like he was about to come over, then stopped. The girl next to him, she didn't know what to do. She looked around, confused, trying to laugh it off, but it wasn't funny anymore. Not with half the bar now staring. I walked past their table. Slow. Calm. I said nothing. Just looked at him. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. His lips moved like he wanted to explain, to fix it, but there was no fixing this. Then the unexpected happened. A woman sitting at a nearby table stood up and clapped. Not fast. Not mocking. Just one slow clap, followed by a few others. Then someone at the bar raised their drink and said, "Damn, she's a legend." It spread like fire. People started cheering. Laughing. A few were recording. I walked straight to the exit. But I wasn't done yet. I got in my car and drove straight to his office. I knew the security guy, Jeff. Older man, used to work with my dad. I brought him coffee sometimes, nothing major, just enough to make him smile when I walked in. I told him I left something important in my husband's office. He waved me in without asking questions. Inside, I sat at his desk. Opened his laptop. I knew the password. It was still my birthday. I laughed at that. In his email, I found everything I needed. Flight confirmations. Hotel bookings. Calendar invites with just her initials. They weren't just seeing each other, they had a whole trip booked next month. Miami. 3 nights. Ocean View Suite. I sent it all to myself. Then I sent copies to his parents, his sister, his boss, and 3 of our closest friends. I didn't write a message. Just attached the files and wrote, "Thought you should know." Then I logged out. I went home and took off the dress. Hung it up, still clean. Not a single stain on it. Then I poured myself another glass of wine and waited for the world to catch up. And it did. My phone started buzzing around midnight. First it was him. "Can we talk?" Then again, more desperate. "Please pick up." I don't know what to say. I didn't answer. Then his sister texted me. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I love you. Whatever you need." Then one of his work friends, Nate. "Holy shit. Are you okay? Everyone's talking about what you did. Respect." Then finally, the girl. The other woman. She messaged me. I didn't know he was married. He told me he was separated. I didn't answer her either. But I screenshotted it. I wasn't done yet. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even try. Around 2 a.m., the front door opened. I knew it was him. He didn't knock. Still acting like this was his home. Like he had a place here. He walked in slow. I stayed on the couch, not saying anything. He stood there, near the kitchen table, still in the same clothes. His face looked wrecked. Eyes red, jaw tight. "I messed up," he said. I didn't reply. I was stupid. It didn't mean anything. I turned to face him. "Then why'd she say you made her feel seen?" He flinched. Like the words hit him in the stomach. "It was a mistake. I swear. We haven't even slept together," I laughed. "Wow. That's what you're leading with? That you haven't slept with her yet?" He didn't know what to say. I stood up. Walked right past him. Into the hallway. Opened the guest bedroom door. Inside were 2 suitcases. His. Packed and ready. He followed me. "Come on. Don't do this. We can fix it." "No," I cut in. "You broke it. I just caught you early enough to keep my soul." He stepped forward, desperate. "We can go to therapy. Please. You know I love you. You loved the version of me that stayed quiet," I said. "That's not me anymore." He stood there, not moving. Just breathing heavy, like the air itself was punching him in the chest. Then I handed him a manila folder. Inside were divorce papers. Already signed. Filed. I'd started them 6 weeks ago, something I hadn't told anyone. Not because I knew about the cheating, but because something in me had already started to grieve. His hands trembled when he saw the papers. "You planned this?" "I prepared," I said. "There's a difference." The fallout came quick. His job? They didn't fire him. But word got around. Office gossip. Screenshots from the lounge. Emails. That sort of thing doesn't stay quiet, especially when it's public. Her? She blocked him. I guess seeing the wedding dress, the dedication, the messages, it got to her. I never had to say a word. She vanished on her own. His sister and parents stopped inviting him to family dinners. Told him he needed to figure himself out. Code 4, we're disappointed, but we'll pretend we aren't. Me? I didn't bounce back right away. That part of the story isn't pretty. I went through weeks of silence. Therapy twice a week. Friends checking in. Some people cheered what I did. Others said I went too far. Maybe I did. But I'm not sorry. Because one night, after months of lies, I reminded him who I was. I reminded myself who I was. And I made damn sure he would never forget what he lost.